welcome to the first episode of the Broken Hearts Club with Michelle. And this week, I wanted to talk to you about identity. Who are you now? A large part of your life has just come to an end. Your relationship has ended, be it your choice or the other person's. A large part of your story, of this chapter, has ended. And this can have you feeling lost and unsure of where to go to from here. Can also have you feeling a little bit unsure of who you are. Because being in a relationship can become part of our identity, and it usually does. Our identity gets wrapped up in the relationship and being part of a couple. So it's only natural that when your relationship ends, that you will start to feel that a part of yourself or your identity has been taken away. And what I would like to share with you today is that your relationship status does not define who you are. Your identity is not solely reliant on your couple status. It's not. It's a component of who you are, for sure. If you're in a relationship, it plays a part in your life. It's a part of who you are in that moment. But it is not all of who you are. It is not your full identity. It is a part of who you are. And I want you to think about this as your relationship comes to an end or has come to an end. That yes, this part of who you are has gone. It's no longer there. But there's beauty in that, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But this part of who you are, this component, is not all of who you are. Your relationship is not all of who you are. Being a couple is not all of who you are. It's not your total identity. Not at all. But to be able to move forward, you have to allow yourself to grieve this part of yourself that is no longer a part of you. This component of who you are has finished. So allow yourself the time to grieve that ending, knowing that your whole identity is not wrapped up in your relationship status, in the fact that you were a couple. That's not all of who you are. There are so many parts of you. Every single one of us is individual. We all have beautiful components of who we are. You could be a mother, a sister, an aunt. I speak a lot about female roles because that is where I am inclined to, but you could be a father, an uncle, you're a friend, you're an employee. You may not like your job, but you might also love your job. And that's a component of who you are. It's part of who you are. But your identity is not in each part of who you are, as in that is not your whole identity. All of these identities, all of these parts make up who you are. So don't forget about these parts of you. Also, you as an individual, your dreams, your aspirations, your desires, there are parts of who you are. Don't allow the end of your relationship to feel that your life is over because that part of you doesn't exist anymore. You are so much more than a relationship status and being part of a couple. I'm going to encourage you to grieve that part of yourself, and I encourage my clients to do the same and to send love into that part of who you were, to acknowledge it, to appreciate it, even if it has been shitty, even if you are coming out of a toxic relationship. There still needs to be an acknowledgement of what you've gone through, of that component, that part of your life, and grieve the ending of it. And that may be hard for some people to do, especially if you're the person that has called the end, or even if it has been a mutual decision. It's like, well, I asked for it to end. Can I really allow myself to grieve it? Oh, yeah, you can, because something has finished, which means you need to acknowledge it. grieve it. Go through that process. Allow yourself to feel what comes up from your relationship ending. But this is also a beautiful opportunity, an opportunity for you to check in with yourself. What parts of your identity, what parts of you, what about the other components of you? Have some of them been neglected? Have you been stifling some of them because your partner didn't agree with that, or it didn't work for where you were as a couple? Are there things that you've wanted to do that you couldn't explore? Did you want to travel? Your partner didn't want to travel. Did you want to try things, but your partner wouldn't let you do them? This is your opportunity to embrace these things that you've wanted to do. We're getting you from brokenhearted to your dream life. So this is an opportunity to check in, to maybe rebuild some connections, to rebuild the connection with yourself, and start feeling into those other identities which are within yourself, those other components of who you are. You might need to give yourself some love. You might need to reach back out to people because you've lost that connection with them. I found that some people have said to me, as a female, I no longer have male friends, but I used to have a lot beforehand. Maybe you can start to reconnect with those friends that you've lost contact with. This is a beautiful opportunity for you to embrace all of the components of who you are, all the parts of your identity. It's opening space up for you to do the things that you've always wanted to do, to be able to travel if that's what you want to do and you weren't able to. This is your opportunity to step into your dream life, to start making steps, to explore what that is even for you now. Like I know with my relationship, I went into it at 19 with my marriage. I came out at 27. I think something like that. 26, I think. And I'd always wanted to travel. I had changed so much during that period, because I'm coming into adulthood. And so it was an opportunity for me to explore what I wanted out of life. Where did I want to go? What did I want to experience? So it's this beautiful opportunity to reconnect with this part of yourself as well. So what I would suggest as you come out of your relationship, has your relationship, whatever it may have been, toxic, unhealthy, or a mutual decision to part ways, grieve that ending. Allow yourself to grieve that ending. Send love into that experience. Even with the toxic relationships, now that might seem really funny or a bit like, why? Because the thing is, if you've been in a toxic relationship, you've been in such a state of stress and worry all the time. You're coming out of it now. You're a survivor. We're not playing victim role. We're not here to be victims of what's happened to us. We're surviving them. We want to come out of that fighting all the time. We're being at war. We want to move into a place of love, kindness, understanding, and compassion. So to be able to do that, we have to send a little bit of love into that situation. It doesn't mean that you loved what happened, but you want to understand, show it some compassion. Show yourself some compassion for what happened. And then spend a lot of time journaling on what you would like to do. Who are you now? What do you want to experience? What have you pushed down with inside yourself? Get to know you again. Get to know the parts of yourself. What are your dreams? What are your desires? What are your aspirations? When I talk about we're going from brokenhearted to living your dream life, I'm just talking about unrealistic. Your dreams can become your reality. Your dreams are just your hopes, your aspirations, and your wishes. They are a part of your identity that gives you purpose and meaning to your life. That's what we're talking about. These things that give you meaning and purpose. So it's a beautiful opportunity to step into that and figure out who you are. You may not know who you are, but this is a beautiful opportunity to reconnect with those parts of who you are. And you'll find them. Journaling is a beautiful way to do that. and just try new things. This is your opportunity to do that. Wanted to do pottery classes? Go do it. It's on my list. But this is an opportunity to explore. We're constantly growing and changing. So get back into contact with who you are. Connect back in with who you are. But really, I want you to understand that your identity is not tied up with your relationship that it's just come to an end. Your identity is not being a couple, because your identity now is single, plus all of the other beautiful parts of who you are, right? It's just one small component. You're made up of so much. So don't think that because that one component means that you're not the same person, you're not as whole a person, that you're not worthy of anything. This is your opportunity to really explore and live the life that you wanted. So take it. Take this chance. Take this time. And really get to know what you want. And then you can start chasing that dream life, making those aligned steps, trying all the things that you wanted to try. It's a beautiful time for you. But really allow yourself to acknowledge and understand that your identity is definitely not wrapped up in your relationship status or being part of a couple. You are amazing as you are. I want to thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I will try to keep them short and sweet and not drag them out too much so that you can listen to them and enjoy. I would love to hear any takeaways that you have from today. I would love to connect with you on social media. So please do check me out on Instagram so that you can connect. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and continue listening to this podcast and seeing where this journey takes us. Thank you so much for taking the time today to listen. Ciao.